This
for
conference will now be recorded.
Tuesday, May 5th at 7:30. Can we have a moment of silence and a pledge allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Scott Cooper. She there?
She'll be on in a second.
Okay. Hakeem Jones.
Here.
Okay. Sonia Sanders.
Here.
Heather Lewis. Okay.
She'll be on in a second.
Okay. Thomas LaPera.
Here.
Rebecca Smith.
Here.
Eric Perry.
Here. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. So moved.
Yeah, I didn't hear a second.
Second.
Tommy,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any nays? Okay, today we had an executive session in regards to personnel, as well as
Real estate.
real estate. Yep, and real estate. And Councilwoman Smith, do we have any announcements?
The same old. When you go out, cover your face, wash your hands, and practice social distancing. But stay in if you can. For any Norristown residents that are experiencing symptoms of coronavirus, there is a Norristown testing site open at the Norristown Regional Health Center. There's information on the Norristown website as well as the Montgomery County website. The testing takes place from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day and is by appointment only. Information to schedule an appointment is available on the website. Norristown's also released a Norristown COVID-19 dashboard. The dashboard provides up-to-date COVID-19 data and provides an interactive map that allows you to zoom in and zoom out and obtain testing information by clicking on links. And that information is available on the website as well, I believe. And that's all.
And the other announcements? Councilman Jones.
Yeah, good evening. Just wanted to take a minute. Norristown, we lost a young man, I believe over the weekend or last night. Traymar Webb is he would have been a soon-to-be high school graduate from Norristown High School. So we just wanted to send our condolences to the Webb and Nutridge family who've been always been very active here in the Norristown community.
Any announcements? Anyone else? Okay. Madam Secretary, do we have any public comment?
No, we don't.
Okay. Before we go into these presentations, please, if you are not talking or if you have your computer on and your phone on at the same time, if you have your computer and phone on at the same time, turn your volume down on your computer and mute your phone. If you are on the computer before you speak, please mute your green button, please, to red. If you, counsel, once again, if you want to say something to any of the staff, please just make it go green and I'll see it and then I'll call on you. So, Crandall, can you mute all of the callers, please, before we start the meeting?
Yes. Got it. Mr. President, can I also share that we actually did get by email 2 public comments, and if I can share them, I think we got them after Roseanne had probably gotten away from my computer. So if you don't mind, I'd like to share those public comments. All righty. So the first public comment is from Christina Stewart, 528 Hamilton Street. Is there some way we can have a police speed display on the 500 block of Hamilton? I live at 528 and all day long cars speed down the street, almost hitting people. We have many children in the area and I worry about someone hitting one. We'll definitely have the police department check that out. From John Blystone, it didn't give an address. Please open up Riverfront Park, or at least the boat ramp. Boating is a safe activity that can be done within the confines of social distancing. Thanks. Those were the two public comments.
So, Randall, proclamation in regards to May as Building Safety Month, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council, you had before you as a part of your packages a proclamation recognizing May as Building Safety Month. As you know, the whole issue of building safety has been a significant issue for the council for years, and you put a lot of work and effort and legislation into ensuring that our structures are safe and sound. The Building Safety Month is sponsored by the International Code Council. And as you also recognize, building safety is vital to not only the economic vitality of the community, but it also deals with important health and safety needs of the community as well, which is a chief function and responsibility of the council. Council's mission is about eliminating blight in the community. And so one of the things that we wanted to do is make sure that to demonstrate the council's commitment to building safety and the fact that we have a dedicated group of professionals on our team that are the gatekeepers and guardians of the safety of the community and the structural integrity of our community. We wanted to join the Code Council in recognizing May as Building Safety Month. And so we have before you this proclamation that will recognize and designate this month as that. As manager, I'd certainly like to go on record for thanking the team in the Building and Codes Compliance Department, Mr. Singh and his team, for all of their efforts in making sure that all of our properties are safe and that the laws and ordinances that the council has passed are adhered to in maintaining properties. I'm not hearing you, Mr. President.
Oh, sorry. I said, once again, I'm going to say this again. Caller 7, 8, 9, 11, and 12. Please mute your phone, or I'm sorry, mute your computer as your phone and your computer is making an echo sound. Or turn down your volume on your computer, and we can do our meeting, a little bit better. Is Councilwoman Smith, Sanders and Lewis here?
I am here.
Okay. I don't know what color you are. Any questions, council? All right, seeing none.
Sorry, Derek, I had a question.
Okay.
So May is going to be Building Safety Month. Is there something that we can do every year within the department or within the municipality to kind of, so this doesn't kind of die down? Is there any type of activity or awareness that we can do for this?
Well, I'll let Mr. Singh speak to it, but that's why the International Code Council, they sponsor this. That might be at some time in a non-COVID environment that we might be able to do some things to acknowledge it. But certainly in this environment, we wanted to make sure that we didn't let it pass. And if Amanda, if there's anything you want to add to that, please feel free to do so.
Mr. Jones, I think you summed it up pretty well with once COVID and all of this is behind us, we will definitely hold some type of event with the community to educate all of our stakeholders importance of property maintenance and housing codes and building codes and do some type of community outreach. Hopefully it'll be by the end of May, if not sometime in June, July, or whenever it will be feasible. We will certainly hold some type of community events throughout the municipality. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Crandall, we have a presentation by Valerie Cofield, President and CEO of Eastern Minority Supplier Development Council.
Thank you, Mr. President. Council, I'm very, very pleased to introduce you to Ms. Cofield, who is, as you say, CEO and President of Eastern Minority Supplier Development Council. As background, it has been the council's desire now for years that we try as hard as possible to get as much minority business involvement as we can in both procurement and development projects that we undertake. We've spent a good deal of time over the years. Whenever we were doing projects, we maintain a list of minority firms that register with us. We also maintain a list of associations that represent various industries and represent minority communities in various industries. And whenever we put out any procurement call or project call, we've always made sure that they were aware of it. There has not been a whole lot of response that we've gotten, regardless of the disciplines that we've done. So in a conversation a few weeks back, Patrick Hitchens in the solicitor's office told me about a presentation that he attended where Ms. Cofield spoke. I think it's to the Jenkintown Council. And I asked him to certainly connect me with her, which he did. And we had a great conversation. And I wanted her to come share the work that they're doing in terms of representing minority businesses, African American, Latino, Native American, and Asian, in terms of getting involved and getting access to both contracting and vending opportunities. And so with that, I want to introduce her to you. And Ms. Cofield, I saw you on the line. Please feel free to take over, and the floor is yours.
Crandall, can you unmute her? Ms. Cofield, we can't hear you. You got to unmute yourself. There you go.
Okay, there I am. Hello, everyone. I want to thank you all for having me, Councilman Jones. Thank you for inviting me to do this presentation. I don't know if I'm able to share my screen or not. I did prepare a brief presentation, but if not, well, I'll make sure that it is available in email to everyone. The work that we do, I am the president and CEO of the Eastern Minority Supplier Development Council. We are an affiliate of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. We have been around for 50 years. We were created by executive order of Richard Nixon back in 1972 to create a public-private partnership to create opportunities for diverse, specifically minority-owned businesses in and around the country. It is my opportunity tonight to talk to you about, number one, who EMSDC is, the businesses that we support, Our territory is Pennsylvania, Southern New Jersey, and Delaware. Of course, the city of Norristown falls within that territory. We operate under 4 key action points, and we certify businesses. We are the preeminent third-party certifier for minority businesses throughout the nation. We are accepted by federal, state, and local entities, as well as corporate America, as being that gold standard for third-party verification of minority status. We also we assist and enable minority businesses to become contract ready and expand their capacities to meet the needs of our buying entities and members. We connect, and that is introducing and facilitating businesses between minorities and corporate members. And finally, we advocate. Now more than ever, engagement with diverse businesses, whether they are small, community-based businesses or large national, multinational corporations, it is critical because these businesses, we know for sure, employ people of color, they operate in communities of color, and they have a positive impact on our economies. Just some statistics that you should know. Businesses certified by the council, that is in Pennsylvania, Southern New Jersey, and Delaware, represent $4.3 billion in annual revenue. They generate combined wages of $1 billion annually. They employ 16.5 thousand individuals, and 65% of their employees are minorities. And those are statistics from businesses that are only 665 businesses that are certified by the council. And so while it's a small representation, it tells you the positive and substantial impact this group has. In terms of our businesses that we have certified, we have a mix of consulting and professional services, service contractors, manufacturers, distributors, construction contractors, manufacturing representatives, and brokers and agents. So we are a very diverse group of businesses owned and operated by the council. One of the things that I had spoken to Councilman Jones about was how we could support the city in establishing and expanding its supplier diversity program. I'm not sure. One of the first things I did in our conversation when I spoke with Councilman Jones, he shared with me that he had specific needs in the construction space, and I was able to immediately identify a business located in the city of Norristown that was a minority-owned business that has substantial capacity. That's what we do. We're able to support and supplement your contracting needs in terms of identifying diverse businesses in the community, in the immediate community of Norristown, but the community of Pennsylvania in our local region. We have offices in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. I spend a lot of time traveling back and forth across the state. There's no part of the Commonwealth that I am not actively engaged with. For me, what I want to be able to do is help the city establish a program that will be a representative of top-down commitment to supplier diversity, that will create internal mechanisms for engaging diverse suppliers, help you employ those strategies that will allow you to engage new businesses, create an audible process to ensure that your initiatives are measured and monitored, and then that you have ongoing awareness and outreach to the diverse business community. This is kind of strange. I'm learning to get used to these Zoom go-to meeting presentations. I'm a very I do a call and repeat kind of presentation. So this is also a little bit strange. So if you have any questions in the middle of this, please don't hesitate to ask me. And also I have a presentation that I'm reading from, and I don't want to seem like I'm reading, but one of the things that's really important to understand, when people think about supplier diversity, there's always the assumption that diverse businesses will cost you more to engage with. And what I want to do is dispel that myth. Number one, ultimately, because small, diverse businesses are oftentimes innovative and more nimble, they can bring realized cost savings to the bottom line. It also allows you to create goodwill within your community, because there's an opportunity to increase in the level of quality of life for the members of your community by engaging with those diverse businesses that are in and around your community. There is certainly revenue impact in that it can ultimately have a positive impact to the city, increase in tax base. There can always be initiatives that talk about doing local, buying local, having a local presence, and all of that has a positive impact to the city. And then finally, it's all about the ability to increase jobs and create those businesses within your community that are employee-based, that can contribute to the tax base, and therefore improve ultimately the quality of life of the businesses in your community. From us, and I'm running through this really quickly because I think that this is really important. What you can expect from an organization like ours is the support and guidance you need in developing and implementing any supplier diversity program initiatives, local sourcing alternatives. And that means that if there is an opportunity, you present that to us. We have several communication tools. We do something called a monthly link. We also have a opportunity portal where you can list your opportunities in that portal. On top of that, we do very strategic sourcing. So if there's a particular opportunity that is high vis, high impact, what we're able to do is understand the pre-qualifications of that opportunity and then do that direct vetting on behalf of you to ensure that you are matched with the right suppliers. We also collaborate, so that you understand, we collaborate with the Women's Business Enterprise Center of Eastern Pennsylvania, the IBA, which is the NGLCC, Diversity, or USBLN, which is your disabled organization, and veterans organizations. We are a collaborative organization. Our focus is on ethnic minority-owned businesses, but we collaborate with each advocacy organization that is representing diverse businesses. And finally, what we do is we help to enhance your ability and your vendors' abilities to meet and comply with the goals without sacrificing quality service, service delivery profits, or by increasing any added costs. And so from that standpoint, I love to open it up to questions specifically. I know I said a lot in a short period of time, but I'd like to answer some specific questions that you may have around the challenges that you have with regards to engaging with diverse suppliers and increasing your spend in the city.
So council, any questions or comments? Councilman Jones.
Good evening. Thank you for the presentation. Just so you know, I'm Councilman Jones, so you may have been referring to Administrator Jones or Councilman Perry, just for everybody's clear.
I apologize.
Don't want to steal credit when it's not due. But I had a question. It sounds like a great model, but what does it exactly mean to get someone certified? And could you give me an example of maybe an entry-level person who would come to your organization to be certified?
You gotta unmute. Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Just when you asked that question, so I'm a full disclosure. I've been waiting for a call from PNC Bank about our PPP, and they just called me, so I apologize. Very selfishly, but Councilman Jones, could you repeat that question again?
Sure. I was just saying, if someone's brand new, and I see that you said you certified people, what would an entry-level person come into your organization? How would that work as far as them getting certified? What does that look like?
So our certification process is fairly simple. It's all automated. They would come online. They would just need to have the appropriate documentation. If they're a sole proprietor, of course, they would need to have their own individual personal information, and whether or not they're LLC, a partnership, any type of corporation, they could come in. The only entities we don't certify are nonprofits. You have to be a for-profit business. The other piece of it is there is a fee for certification. We do it on a sliding scale depending upon the ability to pay. Our entry fee for first-time certifying businesses is $300, but if for any reason a company is unable to pay, we do have sponsorship dollars available to support them.
Thank you.
Council, I can't see Councilwoman Lewis. If you want to say something, you can go ahead and talk. I can't see you on here. Okay. Any other questions, Council? Comments? I have one for Ms. Cofield. Ms. Cofield, definitely want to say thank you for your presentation here. I wish if we could have did it in person because it would be a lot better. I know. But I know one thing about the minorities of Norristown is that we're not well respected, but we don't have a lot of businesses here that are minority businesses. And I know one thing this council is definitely trying to do is trying to at least put us on the map. So I definitely appreciate your information. I'm hoping that we can get a link and some other information from you so we can start blasting it out that we are pushing that. And thank you very much.
Well, we will provide you, and I'm sorry, Administrator Jones, I will make sure that you have anything you need in terms of access to our portal. I'll get you all samples of our link. I'll also share this presentation with you, as well as our economic impact study. And I really, the first thing I want you to know is that we're here to be partners with you. I want to create opportunities for your businesses to come into the organization. We have, like I said, 665 certified businesses, but we have 104 corporate members and or governmental agencies that are members of the organization as well. So there's an opportunity for you to learn best practices that you can implement within the city in order to support your initiatives for supplier diversity. But we're here to be your partner.
One more question here, and thank you for that. As your organization, do they do disparity studies in cities like Norristown and so forth as you go through this process to see?
We don't do disparity studies ourselves, but we do have consultants that can do those for you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions,
Thank you for
Council?
your time.
Just so council knows, we are completing our applications to become an associate member of the council. So we do have the application package, and we'll be submitting that soon.
Yep. Good stuff.
Thank you very
Good
much
stuff.
for your time, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you, and you enjoy your day, and be safe out there.
You do the same, everyone.
Okay. So the next thing is planning and municipal government. Mr. Thonier, ordinance 20-09, please.
Thank you, Council President. This is actually a public hearing. So I know we had invited the court reporter, so I'll pass it on to Sean.
Yes, thank you very much, Ms. Masanier. If it's appropriate, Council President, could there be a motion be made to open the public hearing?
Can we have a motion to open a public hearing to consider adoption of amending Chapter 320 titled Article 8 titled TC Town Center District to require certain existing uses to be permitted by conditional use rather than by special exception?
So moved. Hello. Second.
Favor.
So there was, yep. Motion
Okay.
is second, Mr. President. Motion, please call a vote if possible. Yeah.
Say that again. I'm sorry, Sean.
I believe there was a motion and a second to open the public hearing. I didn't hear a vote to open the public hearing. That's what I was saying, Mr. President.
Madam Secretary, can we have a vote, please?
Valerie Scott Cooper,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Heather Lewis. Heather?
Nope.
I can't hear her.
No, she's not on.
Okay. Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Derek Curry.
Aye. Ayes have it. Motion.
Thank you very much, President Perry. Tonight, we have a public hearing on Ordinance 2009, which, as we're going through our zoning ordinances and talking about the redevelopment of the town center district, we realize that these have been, any changes in uses or any kind of approvals would be done by special exception. Special exception is a process in front of the zoning hearing board. Council also to set this up by a conditional use process where council determines what will be the appropriate use in the town center district. After conferring with staff, it was staff's recommendation that we give council the authority for any kind of approvals, especially if possible redevelopment of various sites, the Luca and other things like that within the town center district. So this ordinance would go ahead and do that. To do so, because it's a zoning ordinance, you have to have a public hearing. So I'm going to mark as M1 a copy of the ordinance, M2 a copy of the advertisement of this public hearing, M3 a copy of the recommendations of our planning agencies who agreed with this step forward. Council can go ahead, and I don't believe there's any other evidence we're putting on this evening. So council can go ahead and ask either myself or Ms. Massanier questions, then allow for any kind of public comment on this hearing. Council can then either continue the hearing to another night if they're unsatisfied, or close the hearing and then take a motion by roll call to adopt ordinance 20-09.
Okay. Council, are there any questions? To the public, are there any questions from the public?
Councilman Perry, we had a couple, Rebecca and myself.
Yep. Councilman Jones first, and then Councilwoman Smith.
I'm actually glad that we looked at this process because, you know, there are some times, maybe indirectly, that some things are passed or approved and it doesn't get to us until later. My question is, what does that do for the zoning hearing board? Does that make them, does that give them, I mean, what's that do to their role, and how's that going to change things going forward?
I can't, Ms. Massani can comment on it. That has nothing to do with the zoning hearing board. Zoning hearing board will just continue to hear variances, special exceptions in other parts of town. In extraordinary circumstances like this one, when there's big development projects, essentially you can give the approval mechanism to either the zoning hearing board or council itself. It was staff's thought that being that these are once in a lifetime kind of developments, the council would like that authority rather than delegating that to the zoning hearing board. That's all.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Smith?
Actually, my question was very closely related to Hakeem's. I agree that it'll be great to be able to hear and have more say on some of the major projects coming in that perhaps we wouldn't have had any say otherwise. My question was just if there was any feedback from zoning hearing board about the ordinance at all.
If I may, the planning commission did hear this request, and they were in agreement that both the Norristown Planning Commission as well as the County Planning Commission, they both recommended approval. And just to elaborate on the uses, in the town center district, the zoning hearing board will still be making decisions on variances, as the solicitor said, and special exceptions on other types of uses like houses of worship and bed and breakfast and tailors and barbers. However, in this instance, the conditional use, which is for the mixed uses that are intense development, if you will, which include mid-rise apartment houses, high-rise apartment mixed uses, residential mixed uses, public transportation stations and terminals, and you know, those type of uses that are large and impactful will come to council for approval.
Council, any other questions? To the public, any questions? Okay, seeing none, we're going to do a motion to close ordinance 20-9, the public hearing for adoption of amending chapter 320 titled article 13 titled TC's Town Center District.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Roll call?
And then I would suggest, Council President, take a motion to approve the ordinance by roll call, if that's what council wants to do.
That's what I'm doing now. So now we want a motion for ordinance 20-9 to have roll call to pass the ordinance. Madam Secretary.
Valerie Scott Cooper?
Aye. Motion and a second, Mr. President. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was breaking up.
Yeah, I heard the second.
Second.
Okay, yep.
Go ahead, Madam Secretary.
Okay. Valerie Scott Cooper?
Aye.
Hakeem Jones?
Aye.
Sonia Sanders?
Aye.
Heather Lewis? She there yet? No. Thomas LaPera?
Aye.
Rebecca Smith?
Aye.
Derek Perry?
Aye. The ayes have it. Ordinance 20-9 passes. Ms. Massonier, I'm sorry, this is for Mr. Kilkenny in regards to appear for either or the zoning board.
Yes. Ms. Masonic could also chime in about this as well. So what happened is everyone's familiar with the Royal Farms project, which has been going on maybe about 5 years now at this point in one form or another. Related to the signage portion of the ordinance, there was what's called a substantive validity challenge to our zoning ordinance. What that is they're basically saying that our ordinance, as passed by council, is unconstitutional. That is actually heard by the zoning hearing board. And the zoning hearing board, of course, has to make up their own mind independently if this has merit or not. So we are requesting, our staff request, that we send my office to go ahead and defend our own ordinance. Also, too, we'll be joined by the law firm of Cozen O'Connor for the applicant, because they were part of suggesting this ordinance as well. I had reached out to counsel for Cozen O'Connor, Ross Weiss, and Bob Careless, and even talked about, if council approves this request, that we would split the cost of an expert, things like that, because our interests will be aligned. So unfortunately, this is what a neighboring property owner has decided to do. Ms. Masania, do you have anything else to that? Or?
I'd like to add that the hearing is proposed for May the 26th. It will be a virtual meeting, and that's the zoning hearing board meeting. So we are asking council if the firm of Kilkenny can come and defend that ordinance at that meeting.
Okay. Council, any questions or comments in regards to this?
I have a question.
Councilwoman Scott Cooper.
And I guess this is for you, solicitor. I'm sure you've seen this type of hearing before. Once it goes through zoning, what is the next step?
So the zoning hearing board has to issue a decision. After that decision comes to I anticipate this being appealed to the Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas. Royal Farms has tried to negotiate with this property owner, and the property owner does not want to negotiate at this point. So I think they are going to, unfortunately, exhaust their remedies, at least at the zoning hearing board level, and probably the Court of Common Pleas if the decision in front of the zoning hearing board doesn't go their way. I don't know, Ms. Musania, what your thoughts were.
I concur. It's very likely that it'll end up at the Common Pleas Court. But
And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to Crandall and Jay and said, hey, I think our office should be involved, because I want to make sure that there's a record in front of the Common Pleas Court with expert testimony and kind of everything laid out to put our best foot forward, so to speak.
Okay, so my second part to this question is, can they continue to work while this is going through this legal battle, or does this have to stop construction?
this only pertains to the signage. So they had already started the construction. I do not know of any reason why it should stop unless the court said something to that effect, but I think our solicitor can speak better to that than I can.
No, there was no motion for stay or anything related to that. So yes, they can continue moving forward. If they chose to put up signage and it didn't go their way, they're of course assuming the risk of that, meaning that they might have to take it down if a court agreed with the appellant's position.
Okay, thank you.
Council, any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, can we have a motion to authorize the municipal solicitor, Kilkenny Law LLC, to appear before the May 26th Norristown Zoning Hearing Board and defend the substantive validity challenge of ordinance number 20-3 filed by KKR Investments LLC. Ordinance number 20-03 of 2020 amended certain provisions of the zoning ordinance pertaining to signage for convenience stores with gasoline pumps.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Ayes have it. Motion passes. Thank you for that.
Mr. President, we need a roll call.
Let's say that again.
We need a roll call for that.
There is no roll call required. It's just a motion to send me to go.
Yep. Thank you, Mr. Kilkenny.
Thank you, Mr. Solicitor.
All right.
Jane, I think this is yours also.
Thank you, Council President.
20-35.
As Council will recall, in your last meeting on April 21st, you adopted the ordinance of the expenditure of the COVID funds through CDBG. We had set aside $300,000 to assist businesses during this pandemic, and these funds are needed expediently by businesses. So we're asking Council to direct our finance director to advance the funds prior to them being received by Council, rather by HUD. We should be sending it on or after June. That will refund the funds that we're asking general fund to use for the business at this moment.
Okay. Council, any questions or concerns or comments? Councilwoman Smith.
Just a comment that I appreciate thinking about how to get this and get the aid into the hands of businesses as quickly as possible. So thank you.
Councilman Jones.
Ms. Masai, thank you. What do you recommend businesses do to obtain this funding? Is there a list or a waiting list, or have you received any calls about these resources yet?
Thank you, Councilman Jones. I have not received direct calls. We do have the Enterprise Center that did the survey of the local businesses, and I believe I had sent the information the last meeting. So these are businesses that are in the pipeline. Our funds are not the only funds that are going to be accessed. They're going to be in conjunction with other funds that the Enterprise Center has. But we will receive the information of the businesses that are eligible prior to releasing it. So we'll make sure that we're informed of that instead of just releasing the whole 300,000, but whichever business qualifies, we'll make sure that you are informed of it.
I have one more question. I'm sorry.
Yep. Councilman Jones.
Is there a cap, or is there a specific way we hope to disseminate this? Because I'm sure there are going to be a lot of businesses
Yes, it depends on how much the business generates. I recall that in the last attachment the Enterprise Center sent, they gave the basics of how much a business could be eligible for, depending on what they generate and depending on whether they meet all the criteria that has been set forth. It has to meet with the criteria that HUD basically puts out as regulations as well. So they have to be eligible in that way.
Okay. My comment to you, Jane, thank you for doing a great job in regards to this. The thing that I'm looking at is how we can get this information out to the community. I'm sure our information officer will definitely get this out. He's been doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Kevin, for doing a wonderful job on the site. And so we can blast it out so people understand, what the criteria is and so forth. Yep.
Sure. The Enterprise Center has been working closely with Kevin as well. So we'll make sure that we send you that information and we send the community that information as well. But I know Malika has been working closely with Kevin to make sure that this information gets out there.
Okay, good. That's really, really good. Okay, thank you. So can I have a motion for council to approve Resolution 20-35 to authorize the use of general funds to advance CDBG CV grant funds for the assistance to qualifying local businesses?
So moved.
Second.
Can I have roll call, Madam Secretary, please?
Valerie Scott Cooper,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Heather Lewis. She's not here. I'm taking it.
No,
Okay.
she's not there.
Okay, Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye. The ayes have it. Resolution 20-35 is approved. Mr. Butts, how you doing today? It's your turn for Ordinance 20-10, please.
Mr. President, members of council, good evening. With me on the phone line is Jen Dirksen from Davenport and Company, our financial advisors, as well as Laura Kurtz, bond counsel from Eckert and Siemens. The ordinance you have before you this evening for consideration authorizes the issuance of debt of not more than $24,220,000 in 3 series. Series A for $13.5 million in tax-exempt notes is for the renovation of the municipal building, and this, of course, is new money, which will increase the amount of debt owed by the municipality. Series B for $8,500,000 in tax-exempt bonds is to refund a portion of our currently outstanding debt. And Series C for $2,220,000 is in federally taxable notes to refund a portion of currently outstanding debt and to repay a $900,000 loan from the general fund to the capital projects fund that was used in part to purchase the DeLucia and Coke properties for economic development purposes. Ordinarily, we would issue this debt in a competitive sale, but given the present economic environment, following the advice of Davenport, this debt is being issued through a negotiated arrangement with an underwriting syndicate led by R.W. Baird and Company, along with Ramirez and Company as co-managers. Ramirez is an MBE enterprise. As we discussed in December when you adopted the 2020 budget, the structure of this bond sale will significantly lower the amount of debt service we will pay in this fiscal year, and that's a very important point to keep in mind. This debt issuance is a general obligation of the municipality. It pledges the full faith and credit of the municipality for repayment. With that, the only thing I would say is that staff recommends adoption of the ordinance, and we'd be happy to answer any questions members might have.
Okay, thank you for that. Council, any questions or comment? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to pass ordinance 20-10 to authorize the insurance of 3 series of general obligation bonds or notes to be sold to Robert W. Bard and Company in order to finance various capital projects, including municipal building renovations, the refunding of portions of the outstanding 2006 note, 2017 A note, and 2017 AAA bonds, and reimbursement for land purchase for economic development, and further permits municipal officials, staff, and professionals to take away any actions necessary and appropriate to effective the financing.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Scott Cooper,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye. The ayes have it. Ordinance 20-10 passes. Mr. Jones, I'm not sure if Ms. Darlene is on here, but Human Resources Resolution 20-32, please.
Thank you, sir. I do have it. Council, you might recall you did this exact same resolution, well, similar resolution a few months back. This is a housekeeping resolution. We have a 457B pension plan that is primarily for police, and there's some other non-police personnel in it, but it's mainly for active and retired police. This plan was actually initially administered by PSAB. As you may recall, we brought a similar resolution back to you a few months back where PSAB had decided that they no longer wanted to be the administrators of the program. They were kind of a vehicle through MetLife. And so MetLife took over management of the program. Now MetLife has decided they no longer want to be administrators of the program. And there's another firm, Retirement Plan Solutions, Inc., that will be the new administrator of the program. And this essentially, this resolution is required for them to be able to take over administration of the program. This is essentially not the municipality's money. This is money invested by the members of the plan themselves, and just provides for administrative services and allows the human resources manager and myself to act as needed administratively to support their administration of the plan.
Council, are there any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to pass Resolution 20-32 to amend and reinstate MetLife 457B to ensure government compliance with retirement plan regulations and retain RPSI to provide document and other services related to the administration of the plan?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, Madam Secretary, can you have roll call, please?
Valerie Scott Cooper,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
Aye.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Terry Curry.
Aye. The ayes have it. Resolution 20-32 passed. Municipal Administrator, waiver of potential conflicts by the parties, please.
Thank you. Council, we're requesting your approval to also authorize me to sign a waiver of potential conflict between the municipality of Norristown and Obermeyer, Maxwell, and Hippel LLP in their representation of Gorski Construction for preparing a construction contract between the municipality and Gorski Construction. As you know, Obermeyer represents the municipality in the matter relating to the potential sale of the sewer. They represent Gorski in terms of being their solicitor in developing their contract documents. This waiver would apply, as I discussed it with the solicitor, who opined, and I agree that there is no conflict, no evident conflict, and very unlikely will be a conflict because the two matters don't intersect whatsoever. If, however, there is some conflict that arises, this waiver states that both parties will agree to get independent third parties to represent each other in resolving a potential conflict. So it is our request and recommendation that council authorize this waiver.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or concerns, council? Okay, seeing none, can we have a motion to approve the municipal council to authorize the municipal administrator to sign a waiver of potential conflict between the municipality of Norristown and Obermeyer, Reedman, Maxwell, and Hippel LLP in their representation of Gorski Construction for preparing a construction contract between the two parties?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any nays? Ayes have it. Motion passes. Crandall, Crandall, can you mute call on number 17, number 7, number 9, and 15, please?
All right. 9, 15. They're muted on mine. Okay, that's all righty. Thank you, Mr. President. So, council, you have before you a motion to authorize staff to advertise public meetings and hearings to receive public input related to the possible sale of the Municipality of Norristown Sanitary Sewer System to AQUA Pennsylvania Wastewater Incorporated for $82 million. As you know, council, we have been engaged for the last year or so in discussions related to both investigation of ultimately an issuance of an RFP and submittals of proposals for the purchase of the sewer authority. The prevailing bidder was AQUA Pennsylvania Wastewater Inc. for $82 million. The next step in this process now is to initiate a series of public meetings to get input on the public on potential uses of the money. For the record, I know council has discussed at length a number of opportunities for use of the funds with certainly consideration of rate stabilization should the council decide to ultimately make a decision to sell the authority. I just share for the public record that among the things that council look to discuss in as potential outcomes should a sale happen. One was to establish a rate stabilization trust for sewer rates in the municipality, to establish a property tax stabilization trust, to stabilize our pension fund and contribute to that, to centralize fire services, to establish a public work facility, to develop a recreation center, to establish an endowment fund for Norristown High School graduates, and to pay off the municipal rehab project for the current municipal rehab project, which would save the city millions in interest over the course of that project. As you are aware, council, all of these things are, oh, and finally, I'm sorry, and to establish a rainy day fund by further bolstering the fund balance in the case of of serious disaster or catastrophe or unanticipated capital need. So, council, as I was saying, you've discussed that, but this process, these public hearings, would involve getting public input on potential uses of the funds. At which time you take that and ultimately, should you decide to sell the authority, you would then make a decision in terms of how to leverage the funds to accomplish your decided upon goals. I also would share with council, as council requested, we have notified the sewer authority and West Norton that this motion would be happening tonight, and they're fine and understand that fully. And the team that's been working with us to pursue this matter is prepared to engage those two parties as soon as council has voted on this. I don't know if I'm the only one who can't hear you, Mr. President.
All right, there you go. You muted everybody.
No, okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Can we have council, any questions or comments in regards to that? Councilman Jones.
Yeah, Crandall, this is a major decision that we will be making over the course of the next few months. Can we have those public meetings maybe be spread out, maybe something during the day and something in the evening to get as many people as possible on board to learn about this process?
Absolutely, we will. And I did make the offer as well to the manager in West Norton that if they wanted to host a meeting there with the team, that they could host a meeting there with the team. But we definitely will spread them out. Oh, also for the record, we the first of multiple meetings is scheduled to be on the 12th of this month, and information will go out about that immediately. But there will be several meetings happening thereafter.
I have a comment, Crandall, maybe a suggestion in regards to this. So usually you do talk to the administrator, and I'm hoping that we can put that into play as we're doing this advertisement, because I know a lot of people really respond to that, and make sure that council gets that information so we can blast it out, because I would like to see a lot of the comments from the community in regards to this money.
I will definitely get with Kevin and we'll schedule one very soon.
Okay. Council, any other questions? Okay, seeing none, can I have council to have a motion to authorize the municipal administrator to advertise public meetings and hearings to receive public input related to the possible sale of the municipality of Norristown Sanitary Sewer System to AQUA Pennsylvania Wastewater Incorporated for $82 million.
So move.
Second.
Madam Secretary, can we have roll call, please?
Valerie Scott Cooper,
Aye.
Hakeem Jones,
Aye.
Sonia Sanders,
She's still here. She's still
Are
here.
you muted?
See if you can unmute her there, Crandall.
I don't know what number she is.
She's under her name.
I like her.
Aye.
Okay.
Yep,
There you go.
Thomas LaPera,
Aye.
Rebecca Smith,
Aye.
Derek Perry.
Aye. The ayes have it. Motion passes. And Crandall, you just want to mute 7 and 9. That's about it. Not
Okay.
everybody. Okay. Mr. O'Denenbo, Mr. Public Works, how you doing today? Hope all is well. We're doing your monthly report.
Good evening, Council President and Council. I'm going to give you an update of what Public Works has been doing. And just to let you know, we have really been doing everything that we've been doing even before COVID. The only thing we did is that we modified things with you to accommodate the realities of COVID. And we now clean the city facility much more than we did. And we created what we called enhanced cleaning for the facility, for the city building. So we increased our cleaning hours in the city building by about 60%. That was done in the month of March. Concerning looking at our parks, we have actually done pest control in every park that we have, and we started mowing the parks. The parks look in very good shape. There's actually a waterlogged situation in Enwo Park that we've actually resolved the problem by installing some under drains. So that project is almost being wrapped up now. We've been patching potholes all over the community. As a matter of fact, even though that the plants were not open, but we use core patch to be patching potholes all over the community. And that's really been going very well. We've been cleaning, because this is the rainy season, we spent a lot of time cleaning the storm inlets, the top of the inlets. And that has really been going well. We've probably, as of today, we've cleaned about, in the whole community, we have 1,250 inlets, and we've cleaned every inlet in the community. We're talking about the top, not really the main, not the pipes. We've been sweeping the whole community. What we've done is, because of parking, that right now people are allowed to park. So we decided to be sweeping those areas that are not, those areas that are free. And then we have actually come up with a system that if we see any open area, we go in to sweep. And we've actually enhanced that with picking this trash on the sweeping routes. We've modified sweeping on the business district by coming in much earlier than we used to. We come in at 2 a.m. now on Mondays, so that at that point in time, there are a lot of open spots in the business district that we can sweep. So that's how we modify sweeping. But apart from that, everything is going very well. We modified our density in public works. We know person during the COVID and even up till now, what we did was that we actually divided our workforce into 3 tiers. Some people came in at 6, some people came in at 6:30, some people came in at 7, and then the whole purpose was just to minimize density and be able to meet some social distancing. And that's all that we've been doing, and I'll be ready to answer any questions that the council will have for me.
Any comments or questions for Mr. O'Denenbo? Councilman Jones.
Thomas, just want to say thank you. I'm quite sure I speak for everybody, your department and the guys that are out there every day. They're on the ground. They're close to people. They're close to picking up things, and the work that they're doing is appreciated. How is the health and how is the wellness of your team?
And just to answer that, I really think that we've done everything that we are supposed to do. We are making sure as much as possible to meet the social distance requirement. And where we had problem was their lunch area, and that was where we reduced the density, and then we made it into 3 tiers. We provided every person with hand gloves. The hand gloves actually came as they needed it. We provided every car with sanitizers and whatever they need. Then we provided every person with face mask, and this face mask is, you just collect it whenever you need it. So we have actually done everything to make sure that they work safely. And again, we equally encourage them not to get very close to each other. So we're doing everything that we're expected to do.
Council, any questions, any other questions or concerns? Councilwoman Sanders. Councilwoman Sanders?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you now. Yep.
I would just like to compliment the Public Works Department. You all have been very responsive to the needs of Norristown, and I just want to say continue to do a great job.
Thank you.
Mr. Denningbo, I want to also piggyback off of Councilwoman Sanders' comment that I see the guys really hustling out here, being real safe in regards to, having their medical PPE equipment on. And I see them cleaning up the community. I know they're on Marshall Street a lot, which is a big corridor for trash and everything, and emptying the trash is on that side, on the west side. And keep up the good work. Thank you. And last but not least, Mr. Jones, take us home, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I want to do a couple of things and share with council. Certainly, COVID-19 has been at the forefront of so much of what we've been doing within my office suites. In terms of information, I think you all know Kevin has been doing a fantastic job of taking information, disseminating it. I'm going to introduce you all in a moment to Lisa Hoddishell, who is my special assistant. I don't know, some of you I'm sure have not met her because I think she came on the month of March, and we've been pretty much on lockdown. She, in addition to being that special assistant and master analyst for our office, she also serves as executive director for the Keep Norristown Beautiful program. And Councilmember Jones, I know you did ask about that. I wanted to make sure she'd give an update on that before we got off tonight. But as it relates to COVID-19, there are a lot of things that we're doing. I'm working with certainly all of the departments in terms of their needs and making sure that they have resources. I have a weekly briefing that I'm a part of, a national White House coronavirus task force meeting every week to get information. I think I've been in conversations, conference calls with everybody from the White House weekly to County Commissioner Akush, County Commissioner Lawrence, the Chief Operating Officer there of the county. Been involved certainly with Congresswoman Madeline Dean and Councilmember Cooper out of her office in terms of information as well. There's a lot of things that we're doing. I've gotten staff as of May 1st to submit To me, contingency plans, I think the finance director told you all at the last meeting that our first quarter financially was very good, in some ways ahead of last year. He and I are very much meeting on a weekly basis, as we always do, but we're certainly talking about what quarter number 2 is going to look like. And so I did have staff prepared due May 1st contingencies as we look going forward. And if we see any dips in terms of our revenue projections, we'll make necessary adjustments to the operations and let council know what we think we need to do in order to make sure that we stay in the black as much as possible. I will say I wanted to let you know that Fire Chief O'Donnell, who also serves as our emergency management director for the municipality, has been doing a great job in terms of coordinating among the team all of the expenses that we are accruing related to COVID so that we can seek reimbursement. Today he notified me he had submitted to the county. They're doing this a reimbursement grant application on behalf of all the communities in Norristown, in Montgomery County, and he made sure that our package was in the list. So thank you so much for doing that. He's been doing a good job of that. One of the things I'll let you also know in terms of making sure not only Public Works but the rest of the staff is being protected as much as possible. We're definitely social distancing and doing all those other things. But one of the things I was also very happy about in terms of both fire and police bringing to our attention, one of the things that we're going to be utilizing and start utilizing in terms of their vehicles is some sanitizing equipment so that we can routinely sanitize the vehicles, all of the vehicles that we use, fire, police, and public works. We're also going to use those got sanitized equipment so that as a part of not only our COVID response, which is going to go on seemingly forever, but as a part of how we do business, sanitize the buildings that we operated out of as well. And it'll cut down on the labor intensity of doing that by hand, by doing it by machine. And we're excited about that. And again, that's equipment that we will seek reimbursement for because it's directly related to COVID. Other things, as you know, we've been doing, I have weekly discussions meeting as we're moving this City Hall project forward. We'll be coming to you at the next meeting for a land development piece on the parking lot. As I've shared with you in the venues, we are certainly moving forward with the state hospital process. Council knows this, but for public consumption, we will be absolutely submitting some information to the state hospital as they put together demolition documents for the conveyance of 68 acres to us by 2022. The expectation is that the bid on the demolition will go out sometime later in the summer. Actual demolition work will probably start in the spring, summer of next year because there's a lot of surveying and underground assessments of trying to disconnect the systems that's going on. But that's moving along fine. I have monthly meetings and we're escalating that with the team from the state, DGS, DHS, as we go through this process of getting that conveyance going. Also constant contact with Representative Matt Bradford's office as he's shepherding that process through the legislature and with the RDA as we ultimately are going to have the conveyance made to them on our behalf. So we'll have much more flexibility in terms of economic development options once we get the project. We're moving along with the DeLucia project as well. As you know, there's an RFP being prepared for master developer for that site. We got an RFP being prepared for master development of the state hospital site. The council will ultimately say grace over as well. One of the things we are also working on is the hauling contract, the next hauling contract for bids that we're going to put out. I think those are the kind of high-profile things that are going on. The team seems to be doing well. We've had a few folks in the organization, none who have actually contracted COVID, but we have folks in the organization who had to quarantine because of outside contact. And all of those folks came back negative. So there has not been any issue with it for us. As I said earlier, now I do want to introduce you to Lisa Howdyshell, who is again my special assistant, but also our Keep Norristown Beautiful executive director. And I'll let Lisa kind of introduce herself and give council an update on what's been happening with Keep Norristown Beautiful.
Good evening, Council. It's a pleasure to meet all of you virtually. Hopefully I'll meet you in person sometime soon. As far as Keep Norristown Beautiful, I had an advisory board meeting April 6th. It was more of an introduction, also discussed some goals, ideas for cleanup and grant opportunities. We also talked about, and everything has been put on hold right now. And the Great American Cleanup was initially canceled. It's now been rescheduled with a tentative date of September through November of this year. The Earth Day was turned into a digital campaign, and the advisory board asked that I register if I could get a panel of experts together to talk about different climate change issues. Unfortunately, I was unable to find panelists to participate in the campaign, so we did not participate. The litter index is also currently on hold with no tentative date of reschedule. I am in the process with Public Information Officer Kevin Tustin of going out and taking photos of illegal dumping areas. I got those areas from Public Works and also from the police department. I'll be applying for a rolling grant for surveillance cameras that come from Keep PA Beautiful. The cameras are to combat illegal dumping. And then lastly, one of the things that came up during the advisory board meeting was block cleanups that have been done in the past. And the idea was to get people that live on those blocks invested. So they would kind of maintain their own blocks, but we would still help with volunteers and resources. And we had decided on, I guess, beautification captains. So right now I'm in the process of soliciting captains from the neighborhood. I'm using prior participants in the Citizens Leadership Academy and Citizens Police Academy since they've showed prior interest. And what would happen is that they would be the point person between myself and the people on their block. And then we thought that there might be some, I would say, like, not reward, but after they maintain their block for a period of time, maybe we could do like a sign or something for the block, or also maybe get some sort of acknowledgement from council. But I think that's everything for KMB.
Council, any questions or comments for Ms. Howdyshell or Mr. Jones? Okay, seeing none, I appreciate the information from you guys. Thank you. Okay, my last comment is always going to be the same with this COVID thing going on, is that, you know, please everyone be safe. Once again, I'm always going to say we appreciate staff for what you do, because we really, really, really do, for coming in, keep, you know, plugging away at the work, because I know it's not easy. And for the community to, you know, be safe in regards to COVID, you know, make sure that you're throwing stuff away, practicing social distancing, washing your hands, doing what needs to do to make it necessary that you don't catch that. And also, in regards to gloves, please, people, our community is our community. And if we trash it with the rubber gloves, that's just a reflection on us. Please, if you see a trash can, we have many around the community, throw it in the trash. And then prayers go out to the family of the young man who passed away, who was part of the football team. And motion to adjourn.
So
Nobody
moved.
wants to adjourn? I mean, nobody wants to go anywhere.
I have
Just
to hurry up.
having a happy time. All right, everybody be safe and appreciate all of you guys and some of the community members. Thanks for being on the call. Everybody enjoy your time. Be safe. All right.
Thank you.
Peace.